Hello, nerds! Thank you for watching Generally Nerdy. This show right here is your Week in Nerdom Movies edition for the week of April 2nd, 2018. This week in movies, some really interesting stuff is going on. We've got a kind of an update on Dark Phoenix. Well, we do have an update on Dark Phoenix and New Mutants, but more specifically, we have some character updates that are going to excite a lot of X-Men files, or however you would say that. And we've got new information on the Gambit movie. We've also got new information on the Bill and Ted movie, and other things are going on that we need to talk about, so let's hit up an intro sequence.
Quiet on the set, rolling.
Hi, I am Bitsy Telek.
Hey, I'm Hale Appleman.
I'm Walter Kane.
I'm Rene Aubergenois. Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander of War, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Come and see me and hear me and talk to me and listen to me talk about myself.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, often considered generally nerdy, and you are listening to what is often considered generally nerdy.
On Generally Nerdy.
You're listening to
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
Before we jump into the news, let's jump into the sponsor so that we can, make a living at this. This week's episode is sponsored by the Yay Sports Are We Winning Yet? T-shirt. It's the shirt that says, "Thank you for inviting me to your party. I realize we're here to watch a sporting event. I just don't care." Aside from the fact that you do. So, again, thank you. You can get this shirt exclusively over on teespring.com/stores/generallynerdy. That and all kinds of other brilliant shirts are up on the Teespring store. All of them are located at teespring.com/stores/generallynerdy. Check it out. Get your Yay Sports shirt today so that you can rock out with some awesome nerdy gear. And now let's hit up the news. This week in movie news, we're just going to come out swinging. There's a whole bunch of news surrounding Fox Marvel movies right now. The biggest and the one that you probably know already is that both Dark Phoenix and New Mutants got pushed back. Dark Phoenix got pushed back from November of this year to Valentine's Day of next year, which kind of sucks. And New Mutants got pushed back from February, so approximately Valentine's Day next year, until August 2nd of next year. So, also kind of sucks, but the New Mutants one is a little less of a sting because we know they're doing reshoots, and they're kind of doing reshoots on Dark Phoenix, which is what kicks us into our next bit of news. So, originally, the plan was to have Jon Hamm be introduced as Mister Sinister in New Mutants. With the pushback and the reshoots that they're doing, because they want to go for even more of a horror vibe, even though they were already selling it as a horror/superhero movie. So Hamm was going to be introduced in the post-credit scene as Mr. Sinister, even though the original rumor was that Daniel Craig was supposed to be Sinister, and that would have been really awesome, but Jon Hamm is a great actor too, so I can get behind him as Mr. Sinister. But now, that might not happen, because it seems that Jessica Chastain is going to play Mr. or Miss Sinister. Would they still call her Mr.? Or would they just go completely SJW and regender the character? I can kind of get behind that a little bit too, though I take it back. I can't get behind that because Mr. Sinister is a pretty big influence on the X-Men universe, and I feel like there are other female characters that are equally as big of an influence on the X-Men universe that they could do instead of just making Mr. Mrs. Or maybe, and this is possibly one of the cooler options, short of just making Jon Hamm Sinister, maybe they're gonna make them both a Sinister, and Hamm will be Mr. and Chastain will be Mrs., and there will be some couple. There's some sort of weird, clone situation, because that happens a lot with Mr. Sinister, hence the Essex Corporation and all of their genetic modifications and all of the things that go on. That might be a thing, though it's probably not. They're probably going to make Jessica Chastain Miss Sinister, and yeah. Originally, it was rumored that she was going to be Queen Varanki from the Skrull Empire, but the director of New Mutants, when he talked about making that post-credit scene with Hamm, now that it got out that that's not happening, maybe it's still rumored to not be happening, and partially because he was told that they had other plans for Sinister. And so now it seems that she's not going to be Queen Varanki, she's going to be Miss Sinister, and they're adding Antonio Banderas to the cast list of the New Mutants, and who's he going to be? Is he going to be Mister Sinister now? Did some scheduling thing happen with Hamm, so it's not going to happen, and so they picked up Antonio Banderas? That seems really weird. I don't know. There's a whole lot of speculation going on. I'm going to pass this one off to you guys. What do you think they're going to do with the character of Mr. Sinister? Are they going to do dual roles? Is it going to be male-female thing? Is it going to be just Chastain? Is Hamm even in the picture anymore? I really don't know. Let's have that conversation. But since we're not, this is television, not telephone, let's kick on over to the next bit of news. And this one hurts my soul ever so much. This one is about a movie that's going straight to DVD, which normally I wouldn't waste my time, but it's the Scooby Gang. Daphne and Velma is the name of a straight to DVD movie that deals with the two females from the Scooby Gang before they were in the Scooby Gang and not being their characters. Maybe Velma will be they'll get her attitude right, but it seems like Daphne, from the trailer that I saw, is totally off the mark. Daphne is supposed to be... she's the bimbo. That's her archetype. She is not the smart one. Velma is the smart one. Daphne's not even all that brave. That's Fred. Daphne is... the bimbo. Like, there's no other way to put that. Shaggy's the stoner / scaredy cat. Velma's the smart one. Scooby is just an extension of Shaggy, or vice versa, I guess you could probably say. But it seems like this girl power thing is going a little crazy. Create new characters that are super powerful. Don't try and change an existing archetype, because you're going to get a lot of fan backlash and you're not going to sell a whole lot of movies. This is coming out on from a production company called Blonde Girl Productions. It's owned by Ashley Tisdale, who I believe is a pop star, and her sister Jennifer Tisdale. Yeah. And also a Disney personality. I think she was like on one of those kiddie shows on Disney or something. This movie, I don't know. I'm done. I'm done thinking about it. I'm over it, and we're moving on. And the bit we're moving into is Gambit. Another update on Gambit. Let's just make this dang movie already. Seriously. As of about 2-3 days ago, there was an announcement that says there is a new production date for Gambit, and it is June 19th. So they are going to start production with the existing script. That means they have a director. There was part of the announcement also was we're going to make another announcement to let you guys know who's going to direct our film. So that part hasn't yet to be released. Sometime in the next few days it should be announced who is set to direct Channing Tatum as Gambit. But as it stands right now, and this very well could have changed between me finding this information and then going to publish, but June 19th they will start production on Gambit, and cross your fingers, it just might happen. But that's all we got for that, so we're kicking on next to Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. First, we got the quasi-red carpet interview, I believe it was, from Benedict Cumberbatch, who said he's unaware of any kind of plans for a sequel. Then, the screenwriter, C. Robert Cargill, revealed that he has plans for a second movie, and he says simply that the villain is going to be Nightmare. And the exact quote is, Nightmare will be the villain. So I just kind of switched a couple of words. I Yoda'd that. But that is not to say that the tease at the end of the first movie, Baron Mordo, is also not going to happen. This is Marvel. We need a buffer villain, is kind of how they've been doing it. So the buffer villain will be who they're vanquishing at the beginning of the movie, and then the main villain is probably going to be Mordo, because that makes more sense, because there's a better story to be told there as far as the movie universe is concerned, because Mordo is an established character, whereas Nightmare they would have to establish and therefore waste all of their potential that they built towards with the last movie. So there's none of that is set in stone. This is all just the screenwriter saying, I have plans, we just haven't been greenlit to do anything with them. So take with it kind of what you will, and we're going to move on to the last bit of news this week, which is Bill and Ted. So, Bill and Ted's third movie is going to be subtitled Face the Music. So, Bill and Ted Face the Music. The film will be directed by Dean Parso, who also directed Galaxy Quest. So, it'll be in pretty good hands, because if you haven't seen Galaxy Quest, why are you even calling yourself a nerd? It is so perfect. But will star, of course, Alex Winter, Keanu Reeves, William Sadler, and who will all be returning to their roles, Bill, Ted, and Death. And we already knew all that stuff, but next month there was an announcement from Ed Solomon, who is a producer on the project. Next month they will be announcing a lot more details, because right now they're finalizing some budget issues, some monetary issues, and so they need about a month to kind of work out those contracts. But we're going to see a third Bill and Ted movie like 30 years later, 20 years later, but still, I'm so interested. I really, not even just the morbid curiosity to see those two Airhead characters on screen again, but just because I dig Keanu Reeves and I feel like he needs a lighthearted role after the last decade of movies he's done. So perfect. So perfect. Any little bit we get on this, we're definitely going to be talking about it right here on your Week in Nerddom, but that is where we have to end this week's movies episode, guys. What did I miss? What should we talk about next week? Let me know down low in the comments section. If you want to go deeper into the conversation, then you can jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. That is where you can find all of the freebie posts, all of the really cool stuff that you get for free from Generally Nerdy, like the social media links and some articles that I just kind of bug me. Usually I write about things that are weighing on my mind and I must get them off, like Comic-Con and why there's only 2 important Comic-Cons, but somehow there's 150 events throughout the country that call themselves Comic-Con. There's more than 150 even. So that kind of stuff is what you can find up there. Social media links and stores to get your own nerdy gear. You can get the generally nerdy stuff on mugs and pants and blankets and clocks. So much awesome stuff is up there on the Generally Nerdy website. Check out the website, generallynerdy.net. Jump over to the stores through the links on the website and get yourself some nerdy gear. If you want to support, though, a little more directly, there's also a Patreon page, patreon.com/generallynerdy. That is where you can support me directly. There is an option that you can do just $1 a month, and that dollar helps me out incredibly. You don't even know. Generally Nerdy on Patreon is patreon.com/generallynerdy. If you are brand new to this channel, please click that subscribe button. If you like this episode, click that like button. If you are falling behind in your nerd news and you want to catch up, Click or tap that box to the left of my face to do that, or the box above it takes you to the Adventures in Photography playlist, and you can check out those because we have 2 more Adventures in Photography episodes we will be filming later this month. But before you click on any of those buttons, always remember, guys, that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.